A body washes up on the shore of a little town called Twin Peaks. The body of young Laura Palmer opens up a whole slew of mysteries, including drug trade, fraud, affairs, and where the fuck this little dancing dude is. This little video serves as a quick recap of Season 1 of Twin Peaks, and hopefully everything you need to know before starting Season 2 of Twin Peaks. This show has a shitload of characters, all connected through convoluted matters, so this is a very rough overview with no knowledge of what happens throughout the show. So all of this might be completely useless or complete bullshit. Regardless, the best way to get started is to turn on episode 1 with a damn fine cup of coffee. I actually made coffee. That is hot. Whew.
She's dead.
Pete Martell, a mill worker, finds the body of young high school sweetheart Laura Palmer along with local sheriff Harry Truman. Andy, another officer, starts crying like a little baby. Laura Palmer's mother, Sarah Palmer, is looking around to find her daughter, but no luck.
Laura? Goodness sakes.
Meanwhile, Laura's father, Leland, is negotiating a deal on the Ghostwood Development Project with some Norwegian investors and his partner, Benjamin Horn. The Ghostwood Development Project is a plan to put some new property on top of where the current mill is, because apparently Benjamin Horn has heard that they're planning to shut down.
We have solid information. The Packard sawmill is going to go belly up within a year.
Leland is pulled aside during this meeting by Harry Truman to tell him of his daughter's passing. He's asked to identify the body, causing him to completely fall apart.
Baby, that's my little girl. God.
It's happy hour in France.
Bobby is a slimy bastard who's cheating on Laura Palmer with Shelley, a local waitress at the Double R Diner. Shelley is also cheating on her husband, Leo Johnson. Luckily, he's a slimy bastard. Like, for real. Like, he beats her.
Have you seen Laura?
No, not yet.
Nice day for a picnic.
Yeah.
Okay. Bobby is questioned at the school by Harry about his whereabouts last night, but he has no knowledge of Laura last night. At the same time in the classroom, Laura's friend Donna and James, the picnic guy, both seem to figure out what's happened. Sarah gets questioned by the police at home. While they look through Laura's stuff, they find a diary and a camcorder. Andy gets a phone call that Ronette Pulaski, a local mill worker's daughter, is now also missing, leaving 2 potential victims. Because of these 2 tragedies, Josie... Okay, let's get some characters out of the way. Josie is Mr. Packard's wife. He died in a boating accident, so now she owns the mill. Pete works at the mill and is therefore Mr. Packard's employee, or was. I've written down that Catherine is Mr. Packard's sister, but I'm not sure. She is Pete's wife, but I don't know, I gotta check this. So Josie wants to close down the mill because of these 2 tragedies, but Catherine doesn't want to because money. But with Pete's backing up, they end the day early. James asks Big Ed to tell Donna to meet him at the roadhouse later, while Big Ed's wife, Nadine, goes on a rant about drapes.
They said those drapes would be ready by 10. Now I want those drapes up by nightfall.
Meanwhile, by the state border, a tired Ronette Pulaski is found, collapsed from exhaustion with ropes around her arms. Which means it's time for Cooper! Oh my god! Cooper! Oh my god! Cooper! Cooper is a peculiar man called in to solve the murder of Laura Palmer and the attempted murder of Ronette Pulaski.
Diane, 11:30 a.m., February 24th. Entering the town of Twin Peaks.
He meets up with Truman at the hospital to investigate Ronette and Laura. Cooper informs Harry that because the FBI is here, he is now in charge. Luckily, Truman is so fucking horny for Cooper that he doesn't really care and says, okay.
Sheriff, what kind of fantastic trees have you got growing around here? Big, majestic.
Douglas firs.
Douglas firs.
They go investigate Laura's body, not before being meted by Dr. Jacoby, an absolute whack-ass doctor who says that he has been meeting with Laura before her death, without her parents' knowledge. Cooper goes spelunking in Laura's nails and finds a tiny R. They also take a look at her diary, where they find a bag of probably coke, and an entry about her being excited meeting someone named Jay. The bag of coke had a little key inside it that opened a deposit box with $10,000 US inside it, along with a magazine called Flesh World. Ron and Pulaski is inside it, seemingly connecting the two.
Ron and Pulaski.
The camcorder which they found had a tape of Laura and Donna having a little picnic together. They showed it to Bobby, but he didn't know anything about it or who Jay is. Cooper, of course, is so fucking cool that he uses Laura's eye reflection to see that it was a biker who recorded the video. Andy finds the scene of the crime and definitely doesn't cry.
I didn't cry.
Cooper and Truman find half a heart necklace, a bloody hammer, a rag, and a note with "Fire, walk with me" written on it.
Fire, walk with me. Sheriff, you and I've got to find out who's got the other half of that heart.
Alright, so this is easy. All we have to do is to find a biker who has half a heart necklace, and then we'll know who the kid. Oh, look, there's Bobby. Oh, he has a bike too. Huh. Well, as long as he doesn't have half a heart necklace. Alright, so at this point, the Norwegian investors do not know about Laura's murder, which is a piece of information that they might not like. So as long as Audrey, Benjamin Horne's daughter, doesn't do something shitty and
She'd been murdered.
fuck. Alright, so now everyone knows Laura's dead. Cooper decides to call a town meeting where he tells about a previous murder that happened last year that had similar circumstances. He believes that one of Twin Peaks residents is the same killer and therefore puts out a curfew. This is also where we meet Log Lady. This is also where we meet Log Lady. Log. This is where we meet Log Lady. This is also where we meet Log. This is also where Big Ed and the diner owner Norma are among the many other adulterers in this town and decide to meet up at the roadhouse later as well. Nadine wouldn't like it, but, you know, drapes. At this point, everyone's at the roadhouse. Big Ed and Norma are sitting down and having a nice calm talk under a beautiful song. Donna and James dip, with James telling Donna about how Laura wasn't herself last night.
Donna, she was a different person.
What are you saying?
I'm telling you, there were things she was involved with. Things she let herself get pulled into. Things she thought you'd hate her for.
They decide to suck face and bury the necklace. Now that all the craziness is over. Sarah Palmer is woken up by a dream of someone taking the necklace. We end with Harry and Josie, the mill owner, making face, revealing that Catherine and Benjamin are in cahoots. Alright. That's the first episode done. And it only took it. Okay, fuck. Alright, the other episodes aren't as long, so if I just, speed things up and, cut off some Nadine scenes, might be able to make it a bit shorter. Let's try. Alright. Fuck, okay. Episode 2.
Telephone works, bathroom in really tip-top shape, no drips, plenty of hot water, and good steady pressure.
Like suited on caffeine right now. Episode 2 starts as any other episode would. Cooper upside down.
But the true test of any hotel, as you well know, Diane, is that morning cup of coffee, which I'll be getting back to you about within a half hour.
At the PD, the coroner reveals that Laura had sex with 3 men before her death, and that Ron Pulaski is likely a witness to the murder, but she's still in a coma. James is questioned but doesn't reveal much. His uncle Big Ed reveals to Harry that he was on a stakeout and mentions a man called Jacques Renault.
Jacques Renault was tending bar.
Bobby and his friend are discussing some money they owe Leo, the money that Laura had. The reason why I'm not mentioning this friend's name is because he's fucking irrelevant. Who cares? Speaking of Leo, he's a real bastard demanding that his wife wash his clothes. In the laundry though, she finds a bloody jacket that she hides from him. Josie gets a call from Catherine saying that shutting down the mill yesterday cost them thousands of dollars. This, however, is not true and is a scheme to try to bring Josie down. Catherine and Benjamin are, after all, still in cahoots. As Ben is home, he confronts Audrey about being a silly Billy about revealing Laura's murder.
Do you realize the kind of money that your little performance just cost this family?
Audrey is a professional shit stirrer throughout the show. Donna goes over to Sarah's house to comfort her about her daughter's passing. Sarah, however, hallucinates Donna as her daughter and begins embracing her.
Laura. Oh, Laura, my baby.
Sarah also begins hallucinating a strange man at the foot of a bed. Who is he? Who the fuck knows? Cooper goes to the Double R Diner to try the cherry pie.
Log lady.
It is finally revealed who took the heart necklace, as Dr. Jacoby is seen holding the heart while listening to private tapes Laura recorded for him. Jerry's home! Jerry's home! Jerry! His brother Ben tells him about Laura's passing and the Norwegians leaving. Also, there's a new girl at One Eye Jack's, the brothel that they both own. So Ben and Jerry go to One Eye Jack's and make nasty with some suspiciously young girls. Cooper, in his room, gets a call from Hawk, where he says that Ronette quit her job shortly before the murder. He has also seen the one-armed man that has been ghosting around the hospital for a while, but keeps losing him.
This afternoon, there was a one-armed man snooping around intensive care. A one-armed man?
As this call is taking place, Cooper gets a note under the door where it says Jack with one eye on it. Bobby goes out to the woods to talk with Leo about the missing money, but Leo is more interested in talking about his wife's adultery. Bobby. Bobby. Oh. Then Nadine fucking drapes.
I'm sorry, honey, I didn't see it there.
You stepped on my drape runner.
Ed gets grease all over them. Oh, oops. Cooper is setting something up with bottles, and I'm sure it's very sane.
By way of explaining what we're about to do, I am first going to tell you a little bit about the country, Tibet.
Fuck. Cooper is doing a literal Hail Mary, throwing rocks at bottles, claiming it's the Tibetan method, where he thinks of names with the letter J while throwing them. Cooper thinks of the name Leo Johnson, and a bottle breaks. Bobby visits Shelly, but she's been beat the fuck up, so he decides to tell her that he will kill Leo any chance he gets. Alright, in my notes, I have written, just read this straight from the wiki, alright? Audrey goes to the Double R Diner, where she talks to Donna, revealing the crush she has on Agent Cooper. She also asks if Laura ever spoke of her father, then begins to dance. I'm Donald Trump and you're gay. Albert Rosenfeld arrives at the PD, a real hard ass and Cooper's colleague.
I have seen some slipshod backwater bergs, but this place takes the cake.
He's here to do a proper autopsy of Laura, but isn't exactly a people pleaser.
I hear that you're real good at what you do.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, that's good. Because normally if a stranger walked into my station talking this kind of crap, he'd be looking for his teeth 2 blocks up on Queer Street.
Time for a slightly different Nadine scene, because this time, the drapes work.
When you tracked all that grease into the house today, you spilled some on my cotton balls. Completely silent.
There is also trouble in paradise, as Catherine and Pete are having a dispute.
Everything smells like fish around here.
Well, you could wash your socks separately.
As they're having this argument, Pete slips Josie a key to where the mill ledger is, all their financials. But she finds 2 of them, suggesting foul play. I want to look at your Discord. It is midnight. It is midnight. Leland is also having a calm night, dancing to jazz with a picture of Laura. And finally, it's time for the dream sequence. Cooper has a dream sequence with lots of imagery, including the one-armed man talking about whatever the fuck.
Tattoo on the left shoulder. Oh, but when I saw the face of God, I was changed. I took the entire arm off. My name is Mike. His name is Bob.
Mike? Mike? Can you hear me?
So, the one-armed man is named Mike, and the man that Sarah Palmer saw is named Bob. Not Bobby, Bob. Cut to old man Cooper, sitting with Laura Palmer and a little dude speaking backwards.
Why, we're from the birds sing a fresh song. And there's always music in the air.
After some amazing dancing, Laura walks up to Cooper and whispers the killer's name into his ear. He wakes up and tells Harry about it, but won't reveal his name till tomorrow. Cliffhanger!
Good morning, Colonel Cooper.
Cooper meets with Audrey, as he suspects she's the one who left the note. She reveals details about One-Eyed Jacks, such as that the girls hired there are the ones usually coming from the perfume department, the same place where Laura and Ronette used to work.
Audrey, that rightward slant in your handwriting indicates a romantic nature. A heart that yearns. Be careful.
Later, Harry and Lucy join Cooper to ask him what the killer's name is.
Who was it? I don't remember.
Unfortunately, they're called to the morgue because Albert's being a real shit.
Is that clear? To conduct Laura Palmer's body to the cemetery. If you think for 1 minute we're gonna leave here without her, you are out of your mind! All right.
He wants to delay the funeral so he can further autopsy Laura, so Harry does the only right thing and punches him.
Wait in the car, Harry.
It's time for a new character in the show, Madeline, Laura's cousin. She's here to help the Palmer family during the funeral. Don't ask why she looks like Laura Palmer. Shut up. Cooper and Harry finally go to Leo Johnson's to ask about his whereabouts during the night. Cooper is well aware of his previous record. Unfortunately, he has an alibi. His wife, Shelley.
Where were you the night of Laura Palmer's murder? Around midnight?
On the road. I called my wife Shelley around that time, from Butte, Montana.
She'll confirm this?
She will if you ask her.
Albert is done with the autopsy. He reveals that Laura was tied up twice and had scratch marks on her shoulder. In her stomach there is a plastic shard that is yet to be identified. Albert also wrote an assault report on Truman after the punch because he's a pussy-ass tattletale. Luckily, Cooper has fallen in love with Twin Peaks and his people, so he tells Albert to fuck off.
Albert, I'm not going to sign this.
What?
Albert, I hope you can hear me. I have only been in Twin Peaks a short time, but in that time I have seen decency, honor, and dignity. Consider yourself lucky I do not file a report of my own that could bury you in a building so deep in Washington you'd never see the sun.
James has a fit and decides he's not going to be at the funeral. There he is. He's right there. He's right there. At the funeral, Bobby starts stirring up shit and ends up in a fight with James. Leland does the only normal thing and jumps on the coffin. Ed, Harry, and Hawk invite Cooper into their secret boys club.
Somebody's running drugs into Twin Peaks from across the border. We've been working this for 6 months trying to set up a bust, top to bottom. Nobody walks.
Who's targeted?
Jacques Renault, bartender at the Roadhouse. We figure him for the middleman. Now, Ed's been doing some undercover. In fact, the night you got into town, he was staking Renault out. We think Renault slipped him a Mickey.
They're trying to bust the drug ring that Bobby and Leo are a part of, and this is where the name Jacques Renault comes back into play. James, who is also part of this club, has caught Jacques' brother with a bag of coke trying to go across the border. They want him to give up his brother, but Jacques has already gotten away and is asking Leo to help him get out of town.
You gotta get me out of here, Leo.
Where are you?
Phone booth. By the cash and carry. And I don't like waiting, man.
Shelley has a gun now that she decides to hide with Leo's jacket. Josie warns Harry of Catherine's scheming, wanting to show him the 2 ledgers, but when she opens the safe, there's only 1 now.
There were 2.
We end the episode with a classic Leland breakdown.
Somebody dance with me.
We are now past the halfway mark of the show. I'll probably bang my head on the desk trying to edit this shit. Is it even worth it? I wrote this shit in word for word weeks ago, and my mood hasn't changed. At the Palmer house, Sarah's getting Bob police sketched, as well as talking about the gloved hand trying to grab the necklace. Leland looks like shit. Jacoby's being questioned by Cooper. He reveals that Laura had sexual and cocaine problems.
It is safe to say she came to you because she was having problems.
Oh my, yes.
Were her problems of a sexual nature?
The problems of our entire society are of a sexual nature.
The FBI director calls into the police department about details of the autopsy, as well as about Albert being a little assfuck.
Good morning, Gordon. How we doing?
It's such a sadness that you think you've seen a film on your fucking telephone. Get real.
The scratch marks on Laura's shoulder are bird bites, and the shard is currently being reconstructed by Albert.
This is the man I saw in my dream.
You saw this man?
The Bob sketch matches Cooper's dream, and Hawk has finally found a one-armed man at a motel. The same motel where currently Catherine and Ben are having nasty massage. Josie is also there, photographing the two. The cops show up next door to arrest the one-armed man, but Andy drops his gun.
Don't move. Oh my God. Keep your hands where I can see them.
The man is called Mr. Gerard and doesn't actually know that Bob. He knows another Bob who's a bird vet. The way he lost his arm in reality is different from Cooper's dream. And also the tattoo he had was different because it said
Bob.
Audrey tells Donna her plan of solving the murder so she can lay pipe with Cooper. Wish I had the same dream.
You ever heard of One-Eye Jack's? It's a place across the border. They have girls working there.
Are you saying you think Laura was one of them?
I don't know, but if it's true, wouldn't you want to know about it?
New character, Hank, is about to be released from parole, but only through the help of his wife, Norma. She promises to help him re-enter society by employing him at the diner.
The boss is tough, but fair.
Shelley tells Bobby that Leo is with Jock and reveals the bloody jacket to him. Bobby tells her about the drug ring and that Leo is gonna get fucking killed.
Thought you could teach me. Teach me, Bob.
Cooper and gang visit the local vet to get
Harry?
To get all the bird records. Cooper believes that they will find the bird that hurt Laura in there because of the connection to Mr. Gerard's vet friend who treats birds. Cooper's a real Dr. Love and tells Andy what to do about Lucy, but not before fucking destroying the place.
Only 4 hits? Oh, I put 4 through the eyes and 1 through each nostril.
Nice pattern.
Audrey, in an attempt to get a crack on the case, convinces her dad to get her a job at the department store.
Where would you start?
Well, I think I should start at the department store. Cosmetics or something, just part-time at first till I graduate.
After which she calls Leo to meet him by the river.
Where have you been?
Ben wants to hire Leo to burn down the mill.
Bright red sports car for a secret meeting. Don't like it, get somebody else.
Oh, no. Hank said that you were gifted. I believed it.
Hank? Norma's husband?
Agent Cooper, I've got Gordon Cole on the phone.
Cooper here.
Hello, is this FuckWeb? How do I log into FuckWeb? Give me access to FuckWeb this instant.
The FBI director reveals what type of bird it was that pegged Laura, as well as the chip being from One-Eye Jack's.
Waldo!
Andy is a fucking genius and finds the bird's address, Jacques Renault's address. Bobby is at Jacques' apartment, planting Leo's jacket before Cooper and gang arrive.
LJ. Leo Johnson and Jacques Renault.
That's our connection.
James and Donna go to look for the necklace that they buried, but it is actually gone, so I guess this vision shit is real in this show. Harry asks Josie why she was at the motel, but she dodges the question like I dodge important side plots in this story.
James, I want to be with you.
She gets a photo of a domino in the mail, revealing that Hank had... Ew, don't do that!
Diane, it is 4:28 a.m. I have just been woken up by the most god-awful racket, which you can probably hear over the sound of my voice. Can you hear that?
Episode 6 starts with Cooper wanting to kill Icelandic investors that have just landed. Audrey is incredibly horny, and Leland has another breakdown. Jacques' apartment is searched and they find a jacket. However, the blood is not Laura's, but likely Jacques' actually.
Jacques Renault's blood is AB negative.
Thanks, Doc.
Cooper finds a copy of Flesh Will with Laura Palmer inside it with red drapes behind her. The same red drapes that they find in a separate photo inside the apartment. With Leo gone, Bobby and Shelly are doing a fuck, but with the gun this time.
Hey, Leo, how's it going, man?
Andy comes in to ask about Leo's whereabouts, but no dice, and it only makes Bobby and Shelly more horny to kill him.
Come on home.
Detective Audrey is at the job interview for the department store, but through blackmail, she gets the perfume job instead. The same one that Ron, Ed, and Laura had.
Then you're gonna put me to work this afternoon behind the perfume counter. Because if you don't, I'm gonna rip my dress in half and scream at the top of my lungs and tell my father that you made a pass at me. Does that help to clear things up for you?
Donna and James, who have been confessing their love for each other throughout the show, I've just been skipping it, have planned to solve the murder.
We wanted to talk to you about this because we need your help. What do you want me to do? Laura used to talk about a secret hiding place she had. Somewhere in her house, maybe in her room, I'm not really sure.
They ask Maddie, Laura's clone cousin, to go into Laura's room and look for clues.
I didn't really know Laura that well, but I feel like I do. Our folks were always telling us how much alike we were. Will you call me?
Oh man, she forgot to drink her glass of coke. Oh!
I don't think that'd be
I am the Twin Peaks. I am the Twin Peaks.
Swinging plates around.
Hi, Norma.
Hello, Hank.
Hank's out now. He works at the diner, but he's up to no good. Bobby goes to Dr. Jacoby to talk about Laura and her dark side, and her drug abuse, and the fact that he had to sell drugs to her, and he cries like a pussy.
Laura did to you.
She wanted so much. She made me sell drugs so she could have.
Twink Peaks? A peek at your twink? Maybe.
Not the cabin we're looking for.
Maybe, maybe not.
The cops are out on a hike, trying to find this cabin, but they only find the log lady. And she tells them what the log heard.
What did you see that night? The night Laura Palmer was killed.
I'll do the talking. Dark. Laughing. The owls were flying. Many things were blocked. Laughing. 2 men. 2 girls. Flashlights passed by in the woods over the ridge. The owls were near. The dark was pressing in on her. Quiet then. Later, footsteps. 1 man passed by. Screams. Far away. Terrible. Terrible. 1 voice.
Man or girl?
Girl. Further up, over the ridge. The owls were silent.
After that bullshit, they actually do find the cabin, and it's playing beautiful Twin Peaks music. Inside the cabin, they find a bird, a camera, some twine, blood, a poker chip, aka the crime scene.
One-eyed Jacks.
Scientific research has harnessed the power of the distant sun to bring you...
It changes colors in the sun.
Inside it's this, outside it's that. It changes colors and it changes back. Nickelodeon, Solar Cat.
Space explorers are stunned.
It changes colors in the sun. Inside it's this, outside it's that. The Gak of tomorrow, today. Nickelodeon, Solar Cat. Nickelodeon Solar Cat comes in 3 colors, each sold separately from Mattel.
It's investor night for the Icelandic investors, and Catherine is pissed at Ben because she found a poker chip, knowing that he's a regular at One-Eyed Jacks. Well, never mind. He tells her about the plan to burn the mill. Slap, slap, slap. Leland has another breakdown, yada yada. However, Josie is also at the party, and Ben tells her where to find the missing ledger. Leo is prepping some gas for the burning, but Hank stops him, telling him to back off, so Leo's pretty pissed and goes home. And Shelly shoots him. Maybe. We don't see it, so I don't know. Now we're back where we usually end. Cooper's room where... Whoa! Alright.
Audrey, you're a high school girl.
Luckily, Coop is a gentleman and dismisses Audrey respectfully.
What I want and what I need are two different things, Audrey. But what you need right now, more than anything else, is a friend. Someone who'll listen.
Andy and Lucy are starting the day off with a little domestic.
Good morning, Officer Brennan.
I sure wish you would stop calling me Officer Brennan.
And Harry and the doctor learn that the bird can mimic human speech.
Commonly known as the hill minor. Its ability to mimic the human voice is amazing.
They're hoping that the bird can be a potential witness a la Phoenix Wright. Also, Coop doesn't like birds.
Here you go, little fella. Oh, you want to feed him, Agent Cooper?
I don't like birds.
The forensics proved that Laura, Ronette, and Leo were both at the cabin, pretty much proving that Leo had at least something to do with this case. Leo is alive, by the way, and is about to shoot Bobby, but not before hearing from the police station that they have Waldo.
Birdseed? No, this bird eats fruit. The sheriff says it's a witness. No, not just because it saw something, because it talks.
Maddie, in the previous episode, finds a tape from Laura. Her, Bobby, and Norma listen to it, where they hear her flirting with Dr. Jacoby. There is, however, one empty case, implying that he has the last one.
God, do you think Dr. Jacoby killed her?
We're gonna find that tape. Tonight.
Audrey is now at the perfume store doing a fantastic job.
I want a scent that makes a statement. Maybe you should try hanging it around your neck.
She decides to eavesdrop on her boss, who is soliciting one of the workers at a perfume store to go work at One Night Jack's.
Hospitality girls escort important guests, VIPs.
Audrey sneaks in and reads his little black book, where Ronette's name is also.
Ronette Pulaski.
At the diner, Hank is talking about his time in jail. Cooper reminds him that he's still on parole, as well as telling Harry that he should once a day give himself a gift.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Just let it happen. Could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. Like this.
A present. Like Christmas.
Oh shit, that's right, Nadine's still here. Her patent got denied, so, you know, sad.
It wasn't just things I was gonna buy, it was a new life we were gonna lead.
Nadine, there's plenty of patent attorneys. We're just gonna have to keep on looking till we find one that understands drape runners.
Harry finally decides to confront Josie about her spying. She reveals Ben and Catherine's plan to burn down the mill.
The other night I heard Catherine talking on the phone. Something about an accident. A fire. A fire at the mill.
Cooper, in his finest tux, as well as $10,000 of FBI money, goes gambling at One Night Jack's in an undercover mission.
21 again, another winner.
Catherine meets up with a life insurance lawyer who shows up with suspicious changes to her life insurance policy. Someone has changed it, and it's not her.
Have to admit, I thought it a little unusual. Life insurance and client is too busy to be involved. I mean, you did know about this policy, didn't you?
She suspects foul play and tries to find the extra ledger, but no dice. Waldo finally starts speaking. But gets shot by Leo, but not before revealing Laura's last words.
Hurting me. Hurting me. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Leo, no. Leo, no.
Time for the mission. Cooper and Ed are undercover, pretending to be gamblers looking for Jacques. The Icelandic investors are ready to sign, but they want a signing party at One Night Jack's.
How'd they find out about Jack's?
I
I take full responsibility.
Ben and Josie call each other to talk about the plan to have Catherine inside the mill during the burning, hence the life insurance policy change. Hank is listening in on Josie's call. They're in cahoots. Audrey tries to slip in as a new worker at One-Eyed Jack's, but Blackie, the owner, sees right through her. There's no way she can get in now. Oh. Okay. Cooper is slaying at blackjack until the new dealer, Jacques, shows up at the table.
Jock, is it?
That's me.
Dr. Jacoby gets a call from Maddie, dressed up as Laura, but it's the same actress. So it's the same person, but it's not. It's not confusing at all. She tricks him with a video to imply that Laura's still alive, so he goes to the local gazebo to investigate. Meanwhile, James and Donna go to look into his apartment. While also, Bobby has been looking from afar and drops a bag of white powder, probably cocaine, into James and Donna's bike. This episode ends with someone watching Maddie/Laura. Who is it? Who knows? Who cares? We are on the final episode. Do we get to know who the killer is? No! Donna and James find the necklace and the final tape. Dr. Jacoby's about to confront Maddie/Laura, but gets hit and has a heart attack.
No.
They listen to Laura's final tape and she reveals that James is simply too sweet for her. And that Leo... Oh, I'm holding this mic the wrong way. How long have I been doing that? Oops. They listen to Laura's final tape before her death, where she reveals that James is simply too sweet for her, and that Leo threatening her life kinda turns her on. Elias, fuck you for making the script so fucking dense. You fucking asshole. Why'd you do that? Why'd you make this script so fucking dense? Fuck you. Cooper reveals the chip to Jock and says that he's Leo's supplier.
A very special night you spent up at your cabin. Here's a clue.
Laura.
Oh, take it easy. Take it easy. How do you think a low-rent hump like Leo's been financing this little operation?
He offers him $10K to cross the border again and meet him in the United States.
We're in sync now, Jacques. Can you feel it? Can you? Yeah, sure. Good. Because I've got a job for you across the border tonight. No Leo. No middleman. Just 10 grand. Half now, half on completion. How's that sound? That's good.
Cooper asks him about the chip, and Jacques reveals that Leo put it in Laura's mouth and said,
Bite the bullet, baby. Bite the bullet.
Harry and Andy are on the stakeout. Andy talks about Lucy giving him the cold shoulder when Jacques shows up.
Ready, Harry.
Jacques, keep your hands where I can see them.
They go to arrest Jacques, but he resists and almost shoots Harry. When Quickfire Andy shoots Jacques, not dead, but shoots him.
Are you okay, Harry?
Yeah. Audrey, at One-Eyed Jack's, is asked to meet with the owner to let him try the new meat. Ben finally signs the papers with the Icelandic investors and decides to try the new... Oh no! Shelley, who's terrified that she could be killed at any time, decides now is the perfect time to wash her hair.
You made me do this, Shelley. You made me!
Leo catches her and decides that she needs to burn with the mill. While she's immolating, Leo decides it's the perfect time to kill Bobby.
Liar!
But gets shot by Hank, pretty fucking dead. Now it's time for Nadine to kill herself. There's a lot of characters being killed now. The show's over. The show's over, right? The show's over, right? The show's over. Hank goes over to Josie to get paid $90,000 for the whole Miller deal. He wants to get paid more, so he... Oh, no, don't do that. Oh, that's nasty. Don't do that. Oh. Catherine and Pete have a fight in the office. She can't find the ledger and blames Pete for everything.
I know our marriage is a living train wreck. There used to be something carrying between us.
They have a brief heart-to-heart, which isn't honest at all.
What?
Hank calls Catherine to say that the ledger's at the mill to get her to burn. Arming herself, she goes to the mill, but only finds Shelley there, so she frees her and gets out of there before the mill burns. Pete goes in there to try to rescue his wife. All their fates are unknown.
So, Fred starts to put the cuffs on me, right? Now Harry, he turns to go.
At the station, Andy's bragging about his quick shot when Lucy comes up to him and says,
Oh, Andy. I'm pregnant. Fresh coffee.
Bobby calls the station impersonating Leo, telling them to check out James's bike. Cooper and Harry at the hospital, where Shock reveals that Leo took the girls before knocking Shock unconscious the day that Laura was murdered. Dr. Jacoby's alive, by the way, and his sighting of Laura is reported to Cooper. When they arrive at the station, Lucy tells them about the call with Leo.
When? About 10 minutes ago, he left this message. And Sheriff, in the background, when I spoke to him, I could hear a clock striking.
What kind of clock, Lucy?
It sounded like the clock at Easter Park.
James arrives and shows up with the final tape, but the cocaine is found at his bike. Leland comes in and asks about the killer, and Harry accidentally lets it slip that Shock is at the hospital. So Leland decides to go a little crazy and goes to the hospital and kills Shock. We end the season with Cooper going to his hotel and getting a call about Leo being shot, but not before opening the door for himself to be shot many times. And that's the end of season 1. We are now ready to watch season 2 of Twin Peaks. I, however, need to sit down for a minute, because I've been writing, recording, and editing this for a couple months now. So I'm just gonna lay down right here and think for a minute. And that's the end, folks. That's the end.